Hey guys! Today's video is going to be a review on the Morphe 25A Copper Spice palette and the 25B Bronzed Mocha palette. Now, I've had these palettes for, I would say, about a week or so now, so I've had a little bit of time to play around with it. First, I wanted to give you some basic info about these palettes. So these palettes retail for $17.99 and you get 25 eyeshadows. So I did check online, you guys, and these palettes unfortunately are already sold out since they were limited edition. Despite it being limited edition, I still wanted to give you guys a review because I found Morphe palettes that are in their permanent line that have similar shades to the ones that are in these palettes. So the packaging of the limited edition palettes look like this. So it's clear in front and you can see your eyeshadows. This actually reminds me of the Z palette, you guys. If you're familiar with the Z palette, it's also clear and you can see the eyeshadows that you have. So I have the Morphe 25O palette. The Morphe palettes that come in their permanent collection looks like this. So they just come in the black plain packaging and then they have their logo in front, and then when you open it up you can then see the eyeshadows. So for the limited edition packaging, if you see it compared to the usual packaging that Morphe has, it's actually a lot smaller, and of course the limited edition one has a clear case. I definitely love this packaging more than the usual Morphe black palettes that they come in, just because it's smaller and of course it's clear so I can see what I have. What struck me about this palette, you guys, is that when I saw this online, it immediately reminded me of the Morphe 35O palette. So I'm just gonna show you guys these palettes side to side so you can see the similarities. And right now you can tell there's a lot of oranges, a lot of peachy tones, and more warm shades in these palettes. So comparing them together makes sense. Now I am going to show you guys some close-up swatches of both the Copper Spice palette and the Bronzed Mocha palette. I'm going to show them to you really zoomed in so you can see the eyeshadows a lot better. But as a whole, honestly you guys, I would say some of the matte shades in these palettes are very hard to blend and some of them are not that pigmented, and some of the colors can tend to look patchy if you don't blend them very well. However, the shimmer shades in these palettes are a whole another level. They're out of this world, they're blendable, they're creamy, and they're pigmented, and they sparkle so much, you guys. And actually these are the eyeshadows that I used on my eyes today. As you can see, I used the Copper Spice palette and some of the Bronzed Mocha shades as well, but I did have a hard time with some of the matte shades. As I said, but as a whole, the shimmer shades are absolutely amazing and you will definitely see them in my swatches. So if you're thinking, you guys, that you missed out or you're sad because you weren't able to get it, I would say not to worry. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I would say the Morphe 35O has a lot of similar shades to the limited edition Copper Spice palette. The differences in the shades are barely noticeable. As for the Bronzed Mocha palette, it looks like this. So it has more cooler tone shades and more mauve tones in the palette. And I would say this is very similar to the Morphe 35K Koffee palette. Koffee is spelled with a K, by the way. And I don't have that palette with me because I didn't purchase it, but I searched online for you guys, and to be honest, the swatches of that palette look exactly similar to the ones that are in this palette. So you still have the cool tone shades in that palette and you still have the mauve tones in that palette. The only difference is you're getting more eyeshadows for that. It's a little bit more expensive, but you get more eyeshadows in that palette. To me, both of these palettes were worth it because as a makeup lover, 25 eyeshadows for $17.99 was definitely a steal. So the quality of these eyeshadows may not be up to par with the eyeshadows you get from the high-end brands, but imagine if I would buy 25 eyeshadows from a high-end brand, you guys. Imagine how much money I would spend. That's an insane amount of money. So for a normal makeup lover like myself, and I like to do different looks, you know, I like to experiment with my looks, and I'm not an expert with makeup, you know, I'm not a makeup artist, I'm just self-taught. So being able to do different looks, like multiple looks with one palette at an affordable price is actually really amazing. I don't regret buying these palettes even though I have the Morphe 35O palette, just because the color of the eyeshadows in these palettes are the kinds of eyeshadows that I use every day. So the colors are very neutral, there's neutral browns, shimmery shades, there's earthy colors, and there's darker colors to smoke out my outer corner and do a natural simple smoky eye, or I can even do a very sultry smoky eye for a night out or event. And I also really love the packaging of this, you guys. It's compact, so it's perfect to bring with me when I travel in the future. So right now, I'm just going to jump into the swatches of the eyeshadows in these palettes. So you guys, I would say my favorites in these palettes are definitely the shimmer shades. They're out of this world, and of course some of the transition shades. Not all of the transition shades are hard to work with. Some of them work really well. The more I work with it and the more I play around with it, I'm really loving it, and I'm really glad I got it for sure. And of course, as a makeup lover, I couldn't decide between both palettes, so I got both because I love both warm shades and cool tone shades because I'm a crazy person like that. So yeah, just go on Morphe's website and I'm sure that you can find similar shades, or not even similar shades, shades that you actually would love. Other than the cooler tone shades, they have the frosty shades and they have more purple shades and more green tone shades. If you check on their website, I'm sure you'll find something that will work for you. So this is my review for the Morphe 25A palette and the Morphe 25B palette. I hope this review was helpful to you guys. I know a lot of people have been eyeing these palettes, and honestly, if you're sad that you missed out, don't be. There are so many other Morphe palettes in their website that are permanent that have similar shades in these palettes, and I really wanted to have this video up for you guys so that I can let you know what I think, and of course give you some dupes of the palettes. Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see a tutorial using the palette, you guys, and I'll gladly do one for you. So yeah, that about wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll see you in my next video.